Good day, my loves. Good day. I hope you are doing well. I am sending you love and peace of mind and just some joy in your heart. It is, I believe, February 16th, right? And it is currently 4:11, and it is a full moon here in the southern hemisphere on the eastern side. And I am twisting my hair up, and I got the window wide open, and I don't even need a light because the moon is shining entirely bright. Like, it is so bright that it is lighting up my room. And so as I am sitting here pondering, being grateful, and wondering what this full moon in Leo is going to bring me during these times, I am just grateful that I have the emotional capacity to handle whatever is thrown my way, right? But I was actually sitting here thinking, like, by me sitting here twisting my hair, I've always done my hair, I've always played in my hair. And so I was actually apologizing to my hair because I'm a little bit rough with it. And so I was twisting my hair and talking to my hair at the same time. And I was like, I love it. I love when people do my hair. I always have. But I was also thinking, this is part of self-care. A lot of times we take it for granted that we can pay someone to do these things for us. And I'm talking the basic things: keeping your nails manicured, your toes manicured, the bottom of your feet, your skin clear, your hair done and healthy and moisturized, those types of things. And I always remember a time whenever I broke up with the guy that I was dating, and I didn't date too many people. And when I say date, I mean went out with, you was my man, blah, 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 blah. But during the times that I was not dating, and up until I made that decision against myself, I always took time, right? Always took time. That was my nature. It was like I took time in between relationships because I needed to decompress. I needed to filter out my emotions. This is hindsight 2020. This is not something that it was like intentionally done, like in my 20s, like, okay, well, let me just meditate. No, that wasn't it. It was just how I moved. Because if I love you, I will always love you. And if we're in a committed relationship, I always wanted it to lead to marriage. So when I broke up with them, or if it didn't work out, however it went, I needed that time. So the moment I went against myself, I did not allow myself that time to decompress and filter out my emotions and, whatever else is called for in that part of the healing process, right? And so the day I went against myself is a whole nother story at a different times. But I was sitting here twisting my hair, and I'm like, this is self-care. Me doing my own hair is self-care. It is self-care. I did my toes today. Self-care. I'm spending time with myself and my own thoughts. No music, no electronic. It's just me, my fingers, and my hair. And I'm having the most intimate conversation with my hair because it is a part of me and it is an extension of me. Everything is alive. The plants, even the ones we eat, everything is alive. And so I was sitting here like, I didn't know that me sitting here twisting my hair with no electronics was self-care. I didn't know back then that I was communing with my inner self, my higher self, with God. I mean, I talk to God all the time, but even in these quiet moments, you are talking to God. You're not talking just to yourself. God hears you. Your ancestors hear you. Your spiritual guides hear you. The ascended masters hear you. Yeshua hears you. Muhammad hears you. Even though I know those names are just dripping with patriarchal, stuff all over them, there is a premise to the energy behind them. Besides people twisting it and using it against you to keep you trapped in a religious hamster wheel, okay? They still have meaning and they still hold weight. They still embody an energy. Look past the fact that they're all males. Look past that because we all possess the male and female energy, okay? So even though I know I was mind controlled by religion, there is a certain amount of respect that is still there. So from time to time, you may hear me mention those names. Why? Because they still hold an energetic weight. And for me, it's like allowing people who grew up the way I did, in whatever religious background that you were raised in. I don't care. It doesn't matter. Because if it was created by a man, my love, they're all the same. They just wear different faces, different hats, and different skin color. But the root is still rooted in mind control because it was created by man. They 200,000 years ago, I don't know, I'm just calling out a number. I'm going to say 200 million years ago, so let me just be safe for all the critics that want to look it up. There were no such thing as religion. But there has always been universal law that governs this place that we dwell. And a lot of the man-made religions and a lot of the man-made laws that are currently in place that are being decimated currently too, they're on their way out the door. A lot of those are mind control and strip you of your own free will and your own thoughts and your own body, like literally. It separates you. It disconnects you on so many different levels. They get you by the body physically. Listen, one of the universal laws, and this wasn't even supposed to be about universal laws, but let me explain. One of the universal laws says in order for divine flow, it's the law of divine flow. In order for divine flow to happen, you must be in alignment mentally, spiritually, physically, and emotionally, which means none of those things can be out of whack. None of those things can be out of alignment, meaning you can't be eating like crap, but all the other three things are great. Or you can't be eating like crap, which is abusing your physical body, and you can't be listening to all this. And I'm going to say it, and I'm going to say it, I'm going to say it, I'm going to say it, I'm going to say it. And I grew up on it, so I know what I'm talking about. Not because it had an effect on me, but I seen the effect that it has had on others. But all that rap, gangster rap, all of it. And I grew up on it. And I still listen to it from time to time. That it's a personal thing with me. It is literally a part of my soul. I grew up with it. But it didn't have an effect on me because my mind was strong. Now, don't get me wrong, I was Jedi mind tricked too. But it showed up in my life in different areas. So be mindful of what you're feeding yourself externally. Okay? But this conversation was just, well, that was just a tidbit, okay? Look up the 108 laws, universal laws. That means universal. That means it doesn't matter what country you're in. That means it doesn't matter what nationality you identify as, because listen, on this spiritual journey, I am recognizing, inner and overstanding and understanding that these avatars that we associate ourselves with is not what is really on the inside, okay? It really isn't. Listen, listen, y'all. Listen, y'all don't even understand right now. It is so deep. We are not all human. We are not. We really are not. We really are not all human. We are not. Anywho, this was about self-care on this full moon in glorious, boisterous, flamboyant, dramatic Leo. And I'm here for it. I am. I hope you guys are doing well. I really do. I really do. No matter what you may be going through, no matter what you may be feeling, there is always another side to that emotion. Remember, this place we dwell thrives on balance. Everything has to balance. Energetically, it has to balance. So that is to say that today is a bad day. It could be a bad day. But there's always another day. To me, there's always another minute, hour, second. But to keep it in general, because sometimes we have bad days. I've had those days where I've cried myself to sleep. And I've always said, you know what? Tomorrow's going to be better because tomorrow the sun is going to rise. So even if when the sun rises and it's raining and it's overcast and you can't even see the sun, we know it rose because it's light. No matter what, y'all, I promise. I don't make promises I can't keep. I very rarely say that. But there's always another day. And so on this full moon, just release. And whatever comes your way, just know that you are already equipped to handle it, even if you are not prepared or you don't feel prepared. And I'm speaking from experience. I'm speaking of how I feel now, even and how I'm probably always going to feel, just because for a minute, because I feel like it's just like a little PTSD for me. It's like, and I know the worst is behind me, but my my nervous system is still being healed, right? So I'm like, okay, but I know who backs me too. I know who got my back. So when those emotions try to come up, depending on the situation, I may allow them to flow. But if when I recognize it's an old program and try to keep me bound and gagged and in fear, I do it anyway. Specifically, because of that. So, but I'm just chilling and healing and minding my own business and just studying and learning more and more and more. This world is effing crazy. You know what? This world is fucking crazy. I'm going to say that. I'm going to say it just like that because saying effing and what I've discovered and what I've found out doesn't even do it justice. It really doesn't. It really does not do it justice. So that is a very well placed fucking. Yeah, it is. But I hope your day, excuse me, I hope at some part of your day today you were able to smile or laugh, give thanks, be appreciative, no matter where you are at in your journey, okay? No matter where you are at, doesn't matter. Beginning, middle, end, already out of it. I need to stop saying beginning, middle, end because it's really no end to this journey, but it is an end to your suffering, so I can still say it in that context. Yeah, so I hope you guys are well. I really do, as well as you can be on all aspects of you, spiritually, physically, mentally, emotionally. Understand this matrix is geared to keep you off balance, meaning they are attacking you spiritually, mentally, physically, and emotionally. Back in the day, they used to attack you physically, hence slavery and the Holocaust and all those things and atrocities that happened in Africa, and all over the world. Okay, that's the physical. Mentally as well, emotionally, most definitely. That's why the news controls you. Social media, it's all geared to your five senses. But the 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 real fight right now, and one that I am in as well with you guys, I am not absolved of fighting this fight. As long as we are breathing on Mother Gaia, then we have a duty. We have a not a job. We have a duty. And so we have a duty. We have a purpose. Even if you are unsure of what your purpose is at the moment, you being here is in itself purpose enough. I appreciate you for tuning into my channel. I do. We're on this journey together, like-minded souls, and not everybody that you see that looks like you has a like-minded soul. It's not even a like-minded mind anymore, y'all. It really isn't, because you're seeing now that your thought patterns and everything is different from everybody else's, and you're not seeing it. You've known it, especially if you're as old as I am, or I seen it when I was a kid, so it really doesn't matter how old you are. It really doesn't. But I seen it as a kid. But now you're of or in that place and space where you're accepting it, and God and your ancestors have been leading you to separate yourself. It's reasons because this war now, it's not physical, it's mental. And I've been sitting here with that, just observing myself and how spiritual warfare is presenting itself in my life. And I've spoken about it so many times. I have 2 addictions. And I say they're addictions because an addiction is something you know hinders you in some way, form, or fashion. So it could be anything. It could be you going shopping, which hinders you financially, especially if you can't afford it. You understand it's not always about drugs or things of that nature. It could be going out, sleeping with random people. That's an addiction. That's an abuse on your body. And it's an abuse on your mental state, your emotional state, because in order to do that, you have to disconnect your emotions from your body. Okay? Yeah, you feel the pleasure, but you're disconnected. And then that's how they can get you spiritually. Because once they have those 3 defenses down, it's harder. It's easier to attack you spiritually in your spirit, where you start believing the things that people say about you and the voices that are telling you to do things, and that's just old programming. And it really is. That's not who you are. You would never tell yourself that. This is a time right now where you need to treat yourself as you would a child. Now, if you are a effed up person that do cruel things to children, then this video is definitely not for you. Get off my channel. But you, the way you would nurture a child, you need to nurture yourself. And if you are in a situation like I am in, which is not even a situation, this is a growth period. This is time where you get to see what you're made of. I've seen what I was made of before, but this is a whole new ball game. And so it's levels to it. And so I'm in the war with you guys. I really am. Everybody is. I don't care how spiritual they are. They may not speak about their issues that they're working with in the detailed manner, but they're there. As long as you was raised in this matrix, in the beast system, you've been affected some sort of way. But that's only half of it. The other half is that now that you've become aware, now it's time to set your energy into overcoming it. And that can be tricky because we have so many distractions. I watch them in my head. They used to move me. Sometimes they still do. And that's one of the things I'm working on, being in total autonomy. Meaning when I know eating that potato is unhealthy for me on so many levels, spiritually and physically, but I eat it anyway. That's a real story that just happened. I didn't eat a whole potato though. So, and with that, with any addiction comes trauma. It really does. And so that's what I've been doing. I've been discovering the root of my trauma. But I feel like I've already spoken about it already. But anywho, I am going deeper. I've overcome a lot to get to this point. But I want to overcome everything. And that is my goal. That may not be a goal you set for yourself, but I remember what I was like before I was smoking. I've always had the eating thing, though I just never recognized it because I stayed active. But I eat emotionally. I do. I really do. And so, in healing that part of me, it's taking time. I'm always like, okay, well, let's do this. Let's go deep. Let's get there. And it's not working like that. And I'm okay with that because I'm okay with the process at this point in time. I didn't used to be. I used to be in a rush. So, you know, nothing of significance has come up in me getting to the root of why I eat emotionally. Like nothing that I have not said or felt or talked about has come up. Let me put it that way. Because, my mind is always like looking and searching, like, okay, well, what about, we said that, we already reviewed that. Like, my mind is like going through. So it's not meant for me to know, no, at this point in time. I will just guesstimate. And I'm along for the flow. I am. I'm along for the flow. I'm not fighting God no more. God says sit still. I'm sitting still. I still, do my studying, but I make sure throughout the day I take time away. And God gotta know who I am because He made me, created me. My ancestors know it's not even so much as being hard-headed when they say sit still. I just love learning. But I do recognize and enter and over and understand that there is a time for work and then there is a time for healing, rest. And so I don't even take naps like I used to. That used to be the only way I felt like I can get rest. But no, not anymore. Not anymore, my loves. That is not the case. So I hope you guys really are doing well. Because I remember a time when I was not. I was not. And I felt so alone in the world. Even though I know I wasn't, I still felt it. I felt alone. I felt isolated. And I know it was because of the gaslighting and people intentionally omitting me from things, trying to make me feel a certain kind of way. Like 2 years ago, that would have sent me into tears, but I have a different understanding, overstanding. Actually, it's just spiritually. I know who I am spiritually. I know who they are spiritually. And just like they came here to do a job, I came here to do a job. I came here to fulfill my life's purpose. It's not a job. It's my life's purpose. It's my life's calling. Whatever that may materialize into being. Because everything I speak about now, I've been speaking about like my whole life. It's just a different aspect. It's just a different perspective because my third eye is open and my intuition is on point. And I've experienced some things and I've awakened to some things and people and places. So this is literally me. You're just seeing it from a spiritual perspective, both sides of the coin, spiritually. And I'm going to see if I can, anyway, I'm not going to speak about it. I'm just going to do it. Let me not even speak that out because I want to keep it to myself. I don't want to share that. I just want to do it. I just want to do it. Do it. Do it. Do it. Do it. Do it. Okay, my loves. Okay. I really do hope you guys are well. And I've said that so many times, and I've never said that like that so many times in a video. So I'm going to take that to mean something. Not just for you guys, but for me. Everything I say to y'all, I apply it to myself. It can't just be for y'all. You feel me? You feel me? It can't just be for y'all. Even if I already experienced it. Because sometimes I say things that I just got that, epiphany at that moment while I'm talking. So you'll hear me say, Okay. That's one of my signals that, yeah, something just popped. Something just made sense. I put a piece of the puzzle together. And I love puzzles. Anywho, my loves, let me get back because now I got to put my head down and finish twisting my hair. And it's going to sound muffled, which it probably sound muffled throughout this video. So I do apologize, okay? Namaste. Ashe. Mazel.